fully understand where you're coming from with this comment. However, what is happening here is you're making a dangerous assumption. And there's a book that I've read before called The Four Agreements, and it's something that I stand by and think everybody should read. And one of the four agreements that you make in life is not to make assumptions. And the assumption that you're making here is that the things that I have lost over this whole journey from trying to be on my highest and greatest timeline is you're making the assumption that the things that I have lost were actually good for me, healthy, and made me happy. And that's actually not the case. In fact, I left my marriage because it was so unhealthy and made me so unhappy. And my body really wasn't healthy prior to being unhealthy. It was just the fact that I needed to learn how to slow down and be still and give my body time and space to rest. And so in this lesson, I have been forced to be still and take time and have patience. And that really that's taught me a lot about resilience, but that's a topic for another day. And lastly, while yes, I did dream about being a stay-at-home mom, and I was so lucky to get to have the time to do that, I also at one point dreamt about being a nurse practitioner and spent a lot of time developing those skills so that I could give back to the community in a way that was sustainable and felt like a real passion for me. I also think it's really important to have the conversation about the fact that your dreams can change, and a dream that you thought was best for you may not actually be what's best for you at the current time or the future time, but it could have been the right time for you then. While I understand where you're coming from, and I certainly can understand why you think it might all be BS, because really, when you start diving into spirituality and thinking of things like this, it does feel a bit like psychosis. That's very true. I would implore you to maybe take a step back for a second. And don't see things so literally, because a lot of the times when we're on the journey or on the path, we don't get to see what's at the end of it. And it's not until we turn around and reflect on how we got there that we see all of those magical pieces falling into place. And while things can seem really hard and really not what you expected, at least for me in my life, most of the time they're leading you to a higher and greater version of yourself. And I've said this before, I will say it again, when you hit your lowest point, you are standing at the doorway to your highest self. It is up to you if you choose to walk through it. Love you. Say it back.